I have not done before. A couple weeks back, I live in Ocala, Florida. A couple weeks back, there was a Confederate flag kind of like parade that went through town, and I filmed some of that, but I wasn't able to use any of the footage. It was just messed up or corrupted or something. So I was bummed that I wasn't able to make that video. But this is Monday the 12th, so on Saturday the 10th, Saturday morning, there was an anti-Muslim rally that was in town, not far away from where we live, but only about a mile away from where my husband works. So we went, and I wanted to film what was happening, and I wanted to get some interviews. So what you're going to see is my experience at this rally and some of the interviews. Now, I got permission from everyone in this video to interview them and to use their footage in a YouTube video. And I just want to say right now that their statements might not be mine. I might not agree with their statements. Their opinions are their own, basically, is what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you at the end of this video what I think about all this, but for right now I just want to try to stay neutral and just present everything to you. So I hope that you will watch this video all the way through and think about what everyone is saying in this video. So I will see you in a little bit. There's not many people here right now, so that's good. There's some people over there. Okay. And whatever you want to say.
Okay. If you ask any questions, I will answer.
Okay. So I'm here with a mosque member, and his name is Muhammad, right?
Yep.
How do you feel about what is happening today?
Well, I feel that it was totally unnecessary because we don't do anything wrong here. We come here, we pray. We pray to the same God as Christians and Jews pray. Okay? There is only one Creator. There are not two or three. So we pray to the same Creator. And I don't know why these people chose this place to come, and we have nothing against anybody. We just pray for the whole community, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Muslims, all of them. We pray for everybody, for God to give everybody good understanding, and we wish no harm to anybody.
And I know that some of the protesters just came right back behind me. What would you like to say to them?
Well, I don't know why they are here, who is sending them. There was no reason for them to be here, really.
Yeah.
I don't know the reason. We don't do anything wrong here. We have never done anything wrong here. This mosque was established a long time back, and there has been no incidents, no violence, and everything is peaceful. So I don't know why people are here protesting.
I have a specific question. Now, you said you've been here since the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice a big difference in how Muslims were perceived by the general population since 9/11?
No, not really.
Okay.
After 9/11, some people came inside, Christians, and they said that they know this mosque for some time, and they said that they came here to back us against the protests on 9/11 at the time, because we don't do anything wrong. People in other countries may be doing things, some other people, in every community there's a handful of people who create problems, but the majority of us that's what our religion teaches us, to be peaceful and fair to everybody, and even the neighbors, whether they're Christians, Muslims, Hindus, or whatever, we are supposed to take care of them. If they need help, we have to help them. So this is what Islam teaches us.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me, and I'm really sorry that this is happening to you guys. And so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we just asked the protesters to move when we had gotten here, and now they're back. So there they all are. There's not many, so that's a good thing. Do you have anything to say, Tim?
This sickens me. There's only 9 of them, which shows they are not representative of society. And they started their protest with
The Pledge of
Pledge of
Allegiance.
Allegiance, which is funny for an anti-American protest to do. But
Yes.
whatever. Irony's funny.
The camera is right here over on this side.
Okay.
Okay, so what are you guys out here today for?
You know, I mean, the bottom line is that the way that America's going is not in the right direction. The political correctness across the United States is leading to loss of life because nobody's able to sit there and stand up and say, oh, look, here's something that's evil, right? The leaders of our country and the mainstream media are making it very unpolitically correct to say anything about Islam whatsoever, right? So we can't talk about Sharia law. We can't talk about, terrorists. We can't even call the Fort Hood shooter who took the lives of 13 people unnecessarily out in Fort Hood, Texas. We can't even call them. We couldn't even call that a terrorist attack. And it's just gotten to the point that regular citizens are so frustrated with the way that the political correctness atmosphere in America is going that you see us standing out here with signs on a very hot day. Not because we want attention, not because we want, media coverage or be on YouTube or whatever it is we're going to be on. It's because we are frustrated. Now, we don't believe that every Muslim is evil. But we do believe that if they denounce Sharia law, they denounce killing in the name of Islam, they should be by our sides right now protesting with us. Instead of standing on the opposite side of the road just recording us for YouTube videos. They should be actively engaging with us. Coming over here and saying, hey, look, we are a peaceful religion. The bottom line is the Quran, the way that it's written, the only way to interpret it for what it is to understand that the purpose of Islam is to establish a caliphate, a one world order, by any means necessary. Now there are 4 steps to get to jihad, and I'm not going to go through them, but each one we actually see in America right now, and ultimately it ends with Sharia law being the rule of the land, and that is what Muslims want, that is what Islam's call for. That's what Islam calls for, and my American patriots by my side today will be damned if that's what they're going to see in this country. So we're out here making a stand to inspire the rest of America to say, hey, it's okay to not be politically correct. It's okay to stand up for what's true. It's okay to call evil evil, in certain areas. And so we're here not to cause drama with our brothers, our American brothers, but to stand up and say Islam is evil. We're calling it for what it is. Not every Muslim is, but they should be protesting by our side for the same reasons we're protesting today.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So, Tim, tell us why you're here today.
I drove by here yesterday, and it just seems like such a quiet place. Nice people outside. There's people protesting. It's just ridiculous. We live in America, and this shouldn't happen. It's a very anti-American protest. To protest any religion in front of their place of worship that kind of inhibits them and makes them fearful to show up and all this stuff. That's very un-American, very wrong. I did 2 tours in Iraq, and I was fighting in the name of freedom, but the freedom of religion, and that's for everyone, for Christians, for Muslims. We just spoke to some guy who was here since 1963, he's not one of the bad guys. You can cut that part out.
So what would you like to say to the protesters?
Say that again, I was talking.
What would you like to say to the protesters?
You think you're doing this for America? What you're doing is really against America?
What would you like to say to the mosque members?
There's only 11 people out there. It's very, very not representative of society, of what the American people think. They're getting not that many honks because people were looking at them like they're weirdos, and they like, huh? People are protesting a mosque? So just ignore them. Hopefully they'll go away.
Last question. Last night you put up a Facebook status that I thought was very good. So, can you kind of explain to my viewers what that status said?
Oh, you want me to read the status from memory in my mind?
Just kind of paraphrase it.
Okay, my status said, tomorrow church is being protested. You know, people are going to stand in front of the church, and you know, it might cause fear and intimidation among people coming and going at their place of worship. And then in the comments section, I put, that wasn't true, but what is true is, if you change out Muslim for Christian and church for mosque, it's very much true. And I basically, I don't know.
That was a good description.
I'm calling out the people that are Christian or call themselves Christian, and get so offended that like Christianity's under attack and all this stuff. Yet we have literally protests at Muslim mosques, and none of those people I hear, oh, Christianity's under attack. No one's saying anything about, oh, they're protesting the mosque. Like what? How can you? Christianity isn't under attack, but even if it was, how can you be so loud about that and so silent about a mosque being protested? These people are just trying to worship, and they just come here to pray. Ridiculous.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So now you guys have watched the video, you've seen the protesters, you've heard a statement from Muhammad, who is a mosque member, and you have heard the statement from the lead protester. You have also heard an interview with my husband, because I just wanted another interview in there. So I'm going to tell you what I think. I had to cut out my original opener because I was so incredibly upset when I arrived there and just felt all of this hate. It was a very small, quiet mosque. Nobody's bothering anyone. The people were all very, very, very sweet. The media people and the protesters were supposed to stay behind the stop sign, and the mosque members were letting people know that they needed to be behind the stop sign, and they said they were doing it just so that the people wouldn't get in trouble. They didn't want anyone to get in trouble, and I just thought that was so sweet, that while these people were out there hating on them and their religion, that they were being so kind to them, and they were all just very, very kind and very open to talking. And the protesters were polite to the mosque members that came out, but they weren't overly kind, but they were polite. I will say that they were very polite. And there were 11 protesters, I think, was what my husband said when we actually counted. There were 11. And yes, it was an interesting experience. So how I feel is, I am a Christian. You guys probably know that. I love all of my friends. I love my Muslim friends. I love my Jewish friends. I love my atheist friends. I love my Christian friends. I love my all kinds of religions friends, If I missed your religion, I'm sorry. But, I love all of my friends. I even love my Scientologist friends. I love my friends, and there are extremists, I can't even talk today. There are extremists in every religion, and we don't judge those religions by those extremists, but we do for some reason with Muslims, and I think that's a shame. But yeah, like my husband said, if this were any other group, any group protesting outside of a church, it would be a big deal, and people would not be cool with it. But it's basically the same thing. It's people protesting outside of a mosque, It's just, if one of those scenarios bothers you, then the other scenario should bother you. You know, so whatever. But at least the people were polite and they, you know, took all the nothing violent happened at the protest. They had all of the paperwork and everything for them to protest filled out. There were some interactions between the protesters and the mosque members where they actually had some conversations. So it was interesting. My husband put it best. He said these people aren't being hateful out of hate. They're being hateful out of fear. And that's what I think it is too. I think they are so afraid of the things they hear. You know, like Sharia law taking over. They're so afraid of that possibility that they do these kinds of things and they think it's okay. But this is just my opinion, and I want you to make your own based on what you've seen. And I'm sorry this is not the typical kind of video I do, but I really, really needed to make this video. So please forgive me if you just want me to stick to makeup, and I will get back to that. But I just really wanted to make this video. So yes, thank you so much for watching, and this is Megan Helt out.